Good afternoon to each and everyone. We believe and hope that by God's grace we are all doing well. And yes, we that's our wish and that's our prayer. We want to welcome you to Richmond Media Health Issues. Today is another day that we need to study something about our health. And today is very important topic for our discussion. So if you are alone here watching us or listening to us, we want to encourage you to also invite friends that this topic is really important and all needs to listen because it's very paramount. You can recall, and when you look at the health setting and about some conditions, issues relating to mental health is mostly disregarded. And at times, at the advanced stage, we always link that condition to be spiritual issues. That's the only conclusion we have with mental health issues. But Richmond Media, we have known that there is one key thing that we most are neglecting, and it's causing a lot of complications in various forms. So today we want to tackle a nice topic which everyone is at risk and how we can be able to manage it, the grieving process. With me is a special in this field, and without wasting much time, we will invite our sister Cecilia Akaadom to this afternoon. She is our guest. So, sister, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ackon.
Yeah, I believe by God's grace you are doing well.
Yep, I'm doing fabulous. I'm doing
Yeah,
really well. Thank you very much for asking.
we thank God. And
And how are you too?
yeah, oh, by His grace, we are doing
Thank
well.
God. Thank
So,
God.
viewers and our listeners, you can imagine that for longest time that you have heard the voice of our sister and how busy she is. It takes the grace that we will be able to bring her on board. And today, thankfully, we thank God that He has given us that opportunity for our discussion. And today is her busiest day. I know you have something to say to your daughter before we enter into the discussion. So you can tell
Um,
your daughter something before.
yes. Today happens to be my middle daughter. She's 15 years today, and she's not very happy with me though, because she says today is her day, and
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done it. But then I said to her that she has to wait. There are so many things that
Yeah.
we can do after. So I
Yeah.
just want to wish Kelsey, her name is Kelsey Anna Ando, a happy birthday. She's 15, and
Okay.
she looks like me though. She's big and she's taller than me. Yeah, so happy birthday to my daughter, and I pray that God will bless her, and whatever she wants to do in life, um, 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 God would allow it to come through. So yeah, happy birthday, Kelsey.
Okay. So Takeshi, together with Richmond Media Health Issues, together with our team and everyone working at Richmond Media, we are saying happy birthday to you. And thank you for allowing your mother, although your consent was not taken and you are not allowing, but we thank God that it has come to pass.
I'm
Okay.
sure
To
she
our
would
topic.
hear
Yes.
it.
Okay. So to our topic. This topic is something that mostly people don't pay attention to.
Yeah.
So we want to know what should we expect about this topic? What's the overview of today's topic? Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Grieving is quite a broad topic. It's very broad. And I don't think we can say it all here. Anyway, we can't do the technicalities. We cannot. I mean, we're just gonna talk as lay people, just to get people to understand grieving process. So we gonna run through it. You know, I'm not going to bring a lot of techniques in, because I want people to understand it. So yeah, we gonna run through it. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so if our sister is saying she will not bring a lot of techniques, you need to understand where she's coming from. She is a clinical psychologist and this her field. So she wants to bring it to the lowest terms that we all can be able to understand. So we thank you for breaking it and be breaking it down for us all to understand. Okay, so we want to ask again: is this topic at our current state necessary for our
It is.
discussion?
It is very, very necessary. I'm just gonna go for the with the overview of of
Okay.
of grieving process. And when we say, because a lot of people do not understand what grief means. Okay, so what is grief? A grief is, I would say, when someone is um when someone feels, um sorry, my brain is, it's a feeling of sorrowful. So that is what grief means, to so a feeling of sorrow, being sorrowful, when you lose someone. A lot of people think that when you lose someone is what grief is all about, but it's not just someone. Okay, it
Yeah.
is something as well. Okay, so you lose a special person in your life, as someone like a child, a mother, a father, a family member, or even a friend. A friend that is very close to you. You kind of like go through the process of grieving. Okay, and it could also be something that you love dearly. Okay, so
Yeah.
what I want people to understand is this too. It's not just losing someone, but also losing something. And some of the things could be like, uh, losing a house. You've built it, and then all of a sudden, you there is a fire. I'm not saying it should happen, touch wood. I'm not saying it should happen to anyone, but there is a fire. What happens? You're gonna grieve,
Yeah.
because you've used substantial amount of money. You worked really hard towards it, and all of a sudden it's gone. And then also, it could also even be your job. Losing a job can also make you, because where are you gonna get money from? Where are you gonna get stuff from? So that could also be um, 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 uh,
Agree.
a grief as well. So it's not just a person losing someone, but also losing something. Um, yeah,
Thank you. So you realize that most at times, whenever we are talking about being sorrowful, so to the layman's term for our viewers and our listeners all to get, it means we are discussing how to overcome sorrowful situation or feeling. When
yeah,
you lose, and Sister Akaadom has brought two things: when you lose someone or something. And it's very
yeah,
important in our discussion because when you lose someone or something that is valuable to you and it's not well handled well, you realize that it leads to a lot of complication that we want to prevent. That's why we are discussing this topic. So, as part of your field and handling some cases like that, can you please share us with some case study of this event and how you were able to handle it so that our viewers can get the concept? Can you share with us some case studies that you were able to handle with this topic that we are discussing?
yes, yes. There are
Okay.
so many case studies that I could even use myself. I think I was talking to you the other time about it, that I could use myself, because I have lost a son. I have lost my son before. I have lost my sister. Then I've lost both parents. So I can even use myself as. But I'm gonna also share people's uh, people's emotions towards it, like how they feel, how they grieve through it, how they manage it. Okay, so let's say I helped someone not long ago, and the person had just lost um, her husband. Yeah, it was very, very hard for her. I think it was actually before she lost her. Okay, so they told the person that terminal illness, so the person was gonna go anyway, and it was quite sad. I mean, so someone introduced me to this lady, and she did really well, but I had to go through um the process. There are stages. you know I had to go through it to help this person. um I'm gonna say in Ghana, okay, or in our African society, especially when someone has a terminal illness, it is kind of like difficult to tell them or inform them that maybe you've got like 6 months to live, you've got like 10 months to live, you've got like two years to live. Okay. um I'll tell you what, I had to deal with someone, okay? I want Ghanaians or my friends or other with Africans to understand that grieving is part of human race. Okay? It's part of human race, no matter what it is. It is part of us. Everybody is gonna go at some point in life, you know? And 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 what I say is we should understand. We should understand is that death is part of us. Losing things is part of us. If these things do not come into place, okay, what where is it? See, all these things help the adrenal gland to work. Okay, you have to get your adrenal gland to work. You can't leave it. You can't leave it. You can't just leave it. It has to work. And once you are able to understand these things, the better for you. So there is this lady that I also helped in Ghana as well. And that person was going. I mean, she was passing away. And I even had to speak to a doctor about her. She had cancer, okay, and she was going, and I had to help the family, right? I had to help the husband who was going through it at that time, the lady herself, okay, at that time, and um, I want to emphasize this. Africans do not want to tell people when they have terminal illness and they don't have long time on this planet. They don't want to tell them, okay? In England, they will let you know that probably you might have about 6 months. So what they do is they tell you, and then you kind of like eat what you want, what you like, do what the activities that you wanted to do that you were not able to do, you know, maybe travel, maybe um, um, do stuff to make you happy. Okay. And then with that, we, as the professionals, also come in to help the person to understand what it is. Yeah. So this person that I was talking about, it came to a point that I had to tell the doctor because they were spending a lot of money. These people did not even have the money. Okay, this person was going through chemotherapy, and you know how much it is. When it comes to chemotherapy, I think it cost them about 3,000 Ghana cedis per session. And this doctor knew that the person was going. And you know that I've worked in the pharmacy before, and I was in oncology, okay, working in oncology pharmacy. So this particular person that I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
They they wanted to show me the lab reports and everything, of the person. So what I did was I had to give it to one of the consultants that I used to work with. And then he told me that, do you know what, this lady hasn't even got a month to go. Okay. She hasn't got even a month to go. So what I did was, and they wanted her to have a chemotherapy done. So I had to speak to the doctor, and I wasn't very happy with the doctor because I asked the doctor how many months or how much more has she got, and then he said he doesn't know because he's not God. And then he said, okay, probably about a month or two. And then I said to him, why are you allowing this person to go through chemotherapy whilst you know very well that she's going? Number one, they are cytotoxic medications. And well, eventually, he says to me that I'm doing his job for him, but which I wasn't, because why would you let someone spend a lot of money whilst the person is going? Do you get me?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Why would you let someone go through it whilst you know very well that the person is going? And also, this money could have been put somewhere else for funeral. This money could have been put somewhere else for because that lady had children, for the children. When it comes like that, all that you need to do is to give them palliative care, you know, give them painkillers to help with the pain and let the person go slowly. Okay, and leave the rest for us, for the professionals to deal with it. So I think you need to speak to your doctors in Ghana about this thing, because to me they are not helping. Most of them are not helping the situation, um for letting these people, whilst you know very well that this person is going, why would you let the person, it sounds painful. And some of them would bring religion in, that you are not God, you don't know. But whilst you know very well that the cells are damaging and everybody is gonna go anyway, so I wanted to emphasize on this issue that if people are listening, and if my people would understand, if you know that this person hasn't got long to go, don't let them spend money. Don't let the family spend money. Let them go in peace. There are so many ways of dealing with people like that. There are stages. Okay. So that was just by the way. But there are some stages as well that for me, when I'm dealing with people like that, there are some questions that I ask them. And then that helps me to know the stage that they are in. Okay. Um, I cannot hear you well,
Yeah.
George.
Yes. Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So you
So,
want to go through the stages? Yeah.
yeah, so there are some stages that I normally, I ask questions, and then with the questions that allow me to know the stage that the person is in. Okay. But before then, do you want me to um okay, so let me go through the stages. Okay.
Okay.
So the first stage is when someone is grieving, they most of the times, as soon as you hear someone is passed away or something is missing in your life, your body goes into shock.
Yeah.
Okay. your
Yeah.
body goes into shock. And with that, we call it denial stage. Okay, so at that time, some people are like, oh, I can't believe it. No, no, don't tell me this. That is not true. I cannot believe it. So at that
Yeah.
time, our brain is in denial. Okay. So when during this denial stage, um, they 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 cannot accept it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we get to the anger stage. They get so angry, don't they?
Yes.
It has happened to me before. I do remember when I lost my child. I was very angry. I was so angry because I didn't understand the reason why my son had to die. Okay, although the doctors and the midwives kept reassuring me, and even I had to go through therapy sessions. I had to do therapy sessions at that time, and although they were telling me, at the back of my brain, I thought I killed my child. The reason was, yeah, I thought I killed my child. The reason was I was working hard. And you know me, I always work hard. I don't
Yeah.
have time for myself. So 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 I thought I was working too hard, and that actually affected my child. But apparently the doctors were like, no, it wasn't you. You know, the therapist was like, it wasn't you. This thing had to happen, and it has happened. So I was furious, didn't understand the reason why my son had to die. Yeah. And then also the third one is bargaining.
Yeah.
We come to an agreement, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay. So we come to an agreement, and then to deny ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
So with me, when I ask you questions, there are some questions that you can ask them, and where they are, you are able to tell the
Yes.
stage that they are in, and then you can carry on from there. Okay. And
Yeah.
then the next one is bear with me, bear with me. My laptop isn't working very well today. I don't know why.
Okay. So, viewers
Yeah.
and listeners, as we are still waiting, we want to see the process that individual goes through, so that when you are someone who is disclosing an information to someone who has lost something or who has lost a loved one, you position yourself well and know how to disclose such information, because if you are not careful with information disclosure and the person take up boom with the anger stage, at times you disclosing that sad news, you might be a victim that the person can hurt. So we want to take our time to go through the series of process, so that you will get the idea and you will not easily call someone on phone and tell that individual, hello, where are you? The person pick up, then you are just saying, oh, you've lost your mom, you've lost your, no, you know that there are stages and you don't want to hurt or complicate. So, Sister Cecilia, you can please take over.
Thank you very much. And then after coming to after you've bargained, right? What happens next is
Yeah.
that you go through
Yes.
the depressive mode. Okay.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
tend to go into depressive mode. So in a way, depression isn't that bad. Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Mm,
because it helps you to grieve. It helps you a lot. So then they get into the depressive mode. Okay. Now, I don't, I mean,
yeah.
it has happened to me before. Okay. It has happened because when I lost my child, right? But my depressive mode was didn't want to speak to anyone. I do remember at that time my sister was with me, and I didn't want to speak to my sister. I just wanted to be alone. I just wanted
Okay.
people to leave me alone so that I can, because there were loads of things going on in my mind, loads and loads of things. Okay, so you get into the
Yeah.
depressive mode. That is when you kind of like think, and sometimes this is when if you're not careful, you kind of like overthink. Okay,
Sure.
and if you're not careful, that would also bring another illness to you.
Sure.
So
Totally.
so you get into the depressive mode. And then the last one is after depression, then you come to accept it. You come to a realization. Okay. So you come to a realization, you come to acceptance, you come to accept the fact that the person is gone, and and the person is not coming back, you know, and then um um no matter what you do, you're not going to bring the person back. But this is when it when I'm talking to my people, when we get to this stage, what I say to them is that keep the memories in your heart. Okay, you keep the memories. Yeah, I don't know if you want me to take you through how I do it. If we it's gonna take a long time, but you keep memories in your heart. Okay, and when you keep the memories in your heart,
Okay.
you accept it more. Am I making sense? Am I? Yeah, because what memories am I talking about?
Yeah.
What you did when the person was with you. What were some of the things that you were doing when the person was alive? Keep those things in your heart. And remember that one day you yourself is gonna go. And you know, so the only thing that you can keep is
Yeah.
the memories of the person. What did you do with the person? With me, with my boy, what I have kept that really keeps me going is the fact that he had loads of her, because he didn't live for long. He only lived for like a couple of hours or 3 hours. Okay. He was a beautiful,
Yeah.
handsome boy. I mean, I call him beautiful. He was a gorgeous boy. He had loads of hair. I could see his toes. He had long toes. He had, and that is what keeps me going. I don't know about my fellow Africans. A lot of you think that I have become more British. That's what you guys tell me. But this is what keeps me going. Although he wasn't with me for long. And when it comes to my sister, what keeps me going is she was a beautiful young lady. She was this, she was that. And I do remember I used to go to Accra, Makola Market with her, you
Okay.
know. And whenever we go, you see, these are some of the things that I keep in my heart to keep me going when it comes
Yeah.
to grieving. And and that even helps you to accept it. It helps you to come to a realization. Okay. It helps you to accept so that you can move on in life. Let me make this um I want to make a point here. Whoever tells you that they're gonna help you deal with your grief, like they're gonna eradicate or they're gonna get rid of something that you've loved that is gone away from you. If someone tells you they're gonna take it away from you, that is never true. Okay, that can never happen. Nobody can take that thing away from. It's part of human race to keep the person in your heart and to keep you going. So nobody would tell nobody. I mean, you can get through it. You can deal with it. You can get through it. You can heal from it. But you can never forget about that thing. And a typical example is like when someone go through divorce. Okay, when someone go through divorce, there is no way that you're going to forget about it. No, you won't. It will never happen. But you heal yourself from it. And there are so many ways of healing yourself from divorce. Yeah. So you heal yourself. Are you there, Akon? You heal
Yes,
you
please.
heal
You can
yourself from
continue.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can never forget it. That is part of human race anyway. So yeah, that these are the 5 stages that we have when it comes to grieving.
Okay. So please,
Yeah.
can you please go ahead and continue with the factors that can influence the grieving process? Then we can know how to cope with the process. Thank you.
Okay. So there are so many factors when it comes to grieving process. And some of the factors could be age. Age could be one. How would a child know that they've lost something, they've lost someone? Age is one of them. Okay. And also, the more you grow, the more you learn a lot of things in this world. Okay. So a 15 years, the way a 15-year-old girl or boy would take grieving process is completely different from the way a 70-year-old person would take it. The reason is that with a 70-year-old, they have been through it. And I'm sure they might have lost someone in their lives. And they know how to do it, how to grieve. Even if they haven't, they might have heard a whole lot. But when it comes to teenagers or children, it is completely different. So these are some of the factors. Age is one of them. Okay. So with children, we normally take them through a lot. We tell them about things like what I've just said, like taking the memories, okay, taking the memories with them. And a child, things like pictures. The parents can keep pictures for this person, to show the child what happened to who the mother or who the father was. So these and the person's the culture is part of it. Like what I was telling you about, culture is part of it. Um, a typical example is Ghana. Ghana, because I come from Ghana, so I can talk about Ghana. The culture tells me that we have to tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it takes about 3 days, depending on the culture, isn't it? Asante people, you have to do it on a Friday, Saturday, and then a Sunday. Funeral on Friday, Saturday, and the Sunday. Okay, and to me, these are some of the factors that affect grieving as well. And then also religion. There are people that believe that, depending on with my belief, when you die, you go to heaven, or there is a place for you when you die. Yeah. So that gives me more understanding, that makes me more relief that if I live a better life on this planet, I have somewhere to go, somewhere perfect. And then if I don't have a better life, if I don't live a good life on this planet, there is somewhere called hell that I'll go to. With that, I'm sure Akon, you can tell me more about it. I don't know whether there is somewhere like that or not. And I can't talk it. I can't um 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 I'm not going to say that here, because with me, all that I believe in is that I do the right thing, I do good things to people, and whether there is heaven or not, whether there is hell or not, I don't know. So with that, I will leave it with you, Akon, to deal with that. And then the amount of support they get. Okay, a lot of people get through the depressive mode, and they are not able to come to a realization, come to acceptance mode. Why is that? Because they don't get help, you know. And even in England, there are some people that do not get help when they go through when they are grieving. You know, they don't get help, and that tends to as when they most of the people that I speak to hit the depressive mode, and they are not able to accept it. Yeah, so that can also be another factor. Do you have any question for me, or should I continue? And also financial problems, as I was talking to you.
Yeah.
Financial problems is also part of it. It can also influence it. Um, Lately, one of my classmates passed away, and we had to take money. In England, we had to kind of like everybody had to bring something small. We had to pay some amount of money to help the person that passed away. Okay, in England, there is something called insurance, life insurance. You pay for your life insurance, and when you die, um, um, the insurers take care of it. Eh? I have paid for mine though. I have a life insurance, so if you don't have it, you better go for it. Yeah, it's a very good thing. Yeah, life insurance is very, very good. But back home, it's not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to kind of like contribute to for the funeral, isn't it? That's what we do.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Is there life insurance in Ghana though?
Yeah. Except some insurance companies that have started doing those things.
It is a very good thing, because number one, it helps, it relieves the family,
Yeah.
you know, it relieves the family. I do remember with my dad, right? I'll tell you another story. My dad, um, he knew he was gonna go anyway, right? So
Yeah.
he prepared himself for his funeral. Okay, he put money aside for his casket. Okay, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He put money aside for his casket. He put money aside for his funeral. He really prepared himself. So, but um, that's what I'm saying. In England, what we do is we use insurance to do these stuff. So finance, just to relieve the other people, because mind you, they are grieving. These people are
Yeah.
grieving. So why would you want to put financial burden on them again? I don't think it's a nice thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's what happens in Africa. And then some of the factors could also be when you have a very good relationship with someone. Mm.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes quite a long time for grieving I mean, it has no time limit. I will not tell you. Some people, it takes some people years to grieve,
Sure.
but and then it takes some people also a very short time. okay, to grieve.
Yeah.
And some people, if we have a bit of time, we can talk about um, the symptoms as well.
Okay.
You know, it takes some people some time to grieve. So when it comes to grieving, there is no special time,
Okay.
okay? But what I say to my patients is the coping mechanism, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you have to move on in life. You have to cope. You know, you have to not move on, but you have to be able to adjust to whatever um has gone on.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Very, very important. Very, very important. So, this comes with what you just said, comes with when someone lose something or lose someone, and the person is a male. Then, while the person is grieving, has reached the depressed state, expressing in the form of crying, then they will tell, "Oh, don't cry. If you are a man, men don't cry." So that aspect, to our viewers and our listeners, from this, you realize that it's not a good advice that we give to that individual. The person should express whatsoever he is experiencing, either in the tears, or as you mentioned, some will express not talking to anyone. But the only thing is that you, the one taking care of that individual, should keep watch so that nothing hurtful should occur. But to just, oh, you some will grab, oh, don't cry, don't cry. It means
Mm,
the education here is not a good advice that we've been giving to such individuals.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when someone is grieving, give them time.
Yes.
Okay? Do not,
Yeah.
especially I do I do remember I lost my mom at a very young age.
Yeah.
And this is funny now, but it wasn't funny at first. Well, I wasn't at home. I was in school when my mom passed away, so they had to bring me home. And as soon as I go home, I could hear. I mean, it's vivid. It
Yeah.
is. It is vivid. I mean, I could still feel it. Okay, this is why I'm telling you that comes to grieving, you cannot forget. When you lose
Yeah.
someone special to you, you cannot forget, but you tend to live with it. You heal, you live with it, and you
Yeah.
you 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 move on in life.
Sure.
Okay. So
Yeah.
as I was talking, my mom passed away. I came home, and then there was another woman, my mom's friend. Okay. So about a couple of hours later, I went to see my dad, and then my dad was like, "Oh, your mom is gone," and blah blah, and then he cried, and that was the first time I saw my dad cry.
Mhm.
And well, so later on, okay, a woman, my mom's friend, came to me and said, "Oh, Cecilia, are you not going to eat? On Didi, are you not gonna
Mhm.
eat?" And I was like, "No, I don't wanna eat." "No, no, no, bring the food." Okay. So they brought the food and she was feeding me. I do remember she was putting food in my mouth. And I'll tell you what, that day, the food tasted like sand. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding.
Mhm.
The food tasted like sand in my mouth. And I kept telling her to stop. But she wouldn't stop because she thinks I am the last born anyway in the family. Hey, Cecilia, cake, she has to eat. And I was very close to my mom as well. But the thing is, did I want to eat at that time? No,
Mhm.
they should have let me be. Did I want to speak to someone at that time when I lost my? But I was very lucky because my sister, she left me alone. Sometimes she would come to me and say, "You know what? We." She used God This is why it's very important when you have a religion, when it comes to these things. If you do not have a faith, it's very, very difficult. But when you have when you have faith, then it kind of like help, because we know that um, we Christians believe that at some point in life, if you do good in life, you're gonna end up in heaven. If you do
Yeah.
not do good in life, you're gonna end up in hell. As for that, as I said, I'll leave you to that, because um, I don't know where I'm gonna be when I go. Okay, so I'll leave you to it. I don't want to go into religious stuff here. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that though, because in
Oh,
my job, I'm not allowed to talk about God when I am um, counseling someone. Um,
but here is allowed. So in that case, how can we, someone passing through this was able to cope, because that is the only way of intervention. So how can we cope with grieving process?
yeah, you at first you have to understand. You have to understand what death is all about.
Okay.
Okay, as I said, you
Yeah.
have to understand the fact that death is inevitable. It is inevitable. You cannot do anything about it. Everybody is gonna go at some point in life.
Yeah.
And once you understand this, I think you are good to go.
Mhm.
Okay. Um,
Yeah.
when I was young, not when I was even young, before I understood a whole lot of things in life. Okay. Do you
Yeah.
remember? I'll tell you, George, this is funny, but do you remember that they used to say when someone dies, they are ghosts?
Mhm. Yes.
Um, or Betchel or Samai Betchel. Do you?
Yeah. Sure. Yes.
Uh-huh. Do you think it's true?
No.
I don't believe in it.
No, it's not true.
I don't believe in it. But why would you have to scare someone? I don't know if they still do it in Ghana though. Why do you have to scare someone whilst the person is grieving? Why do you not let the person understand? Like Christians, for instance, the Bible says that we all gonna go at some point in life. Don't ask me where the quotations are, please. I can't give you, but that is what I know, that we're
Yeah.
gonna go. Everybody is gonna go at some point in life. Okay. And once you
Yeah.
understand this, I think that is about 80% of solving your problem.
Yeah.
What do? You live with the memories, okay? The
Yeah.
memories of the person. Yeah. With me, as I said, my dad, for instance, with me, the memories that are always with me is that my dad was never judgmental. My dad should have been a psychologist, actually. I think he was. I think my dad was a counseling psychologist, because my dad used to counsel people before he passed away.
Okay.
You and he was never a judgmental person.
Yeah.
you know Sometimes the Muslims would come and call him to, when they're doing their Eid al-Fitr stuff, they would come and call him to speak, you know and then
Yeah.
his because he was part of this Akwakere kinship stuff. He was
Okay.
among those people. So sometimes they would also call him to speak to some people when there are problems. So this with all these, my dad was never a judgmental person. And I really loved the way he lived his life. And even if he doesn't have he didn't have enough money, but the little that he had, he used to share with people. This is the man I'm talking about. And when you go to school, God, you are dead. And these are some of the things that I remember, and that keeps me going,
Okay.
because he was a good dad. He was a very good father to me. He would call me and say, Cecilia, we need to pray. When we were young, he used to call us because my dad is a very strict Catholic. So he would call us to say we have to pray. We didn't like it at that time. We didn't want to pray. When you're young, you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But and
No.
these are some of the memories that I have with my dad. Sometimes I would just smile and say, "Oh my God, God rest his soul." So
Yeah.
so, and also, um, um, I think I don't know what happens in Ghana, but here, okay, here in England, people with terminal illnesses, yeah,
Yeah.
the therapist has to come in, a psychologist. I mean, no, if not a psychologist, a therapist has to come in, speak to the person to
Yeah.
help. Okay, so that's what I was that's what I was trying to talk to you about. We kind of like when someone has got terminal illness like kidney failure or cancer or stuff like that, we kind of like speak to or counsel or give therapy sessions um, to the person that is dying, okay, and then the family as well, to make them understand, okay, and
Yeah.
then to make them understand what they're going through. And
Sure.
before the person even goes, these people understand it perfectly well.
Exactly.
So when they go, it doesn't become a problem,
Sure.
because they have been talked to. They know what they're doing. They visit. Some people even stay with their dying person,
Yeah.
with the dying people until they pass away. And that is a great relief for them. It helps them. And then within a short period, they're back on their foot again.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I know some people are going to get me wrong, but to me, it is a perfect way of grieving, coping with it. And within the short period, because they understand whatever is happening, they're able to embrace it and then cope with it. How is it in
Yeah.
Ghana?
Yeah. I think in Ghana, most um, healthcare providers have been doing that, especially when they sense that the prognosis will be bad. So some places they will start engaging the relatives, start counseling them, start preparing them, so
Yeah,
it wouldn't be an emergency or a shock news. So you
yeah.
see the one who is immediate caretaker, he will be
Hmm.
aware of every step that might be going on, every
But
step that might be going on.
that's
And the
very
time that the person expired, you see, it's just the grieving process that the person will pass through. But at the back of the mind, he has been psyched before the issue happening.
that's a very good thing. That is a very good thing because then it helps the person to
Exactly.
accept it and then move on very fast. So yeah, that's a very good thing. But when I was living, I mean, it's been years. It wasn't like that. You know, they wouldn't tell people that probably they're gonna go, and it comes to a shock to the and also when it comes to a year,
The
a few.
funeral. Yeah.
No, I was gonna talk about it. I was gonna talk about, but we don't have time.
Yeah.
Um, there are also um what is it called? Types. Okay,
Yeah.
types of grief. Um, back home, not even back home, everywhere, there are a lot of places people do not get the time to grieve.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't get
Yes.
time to grieve. I want to emphasize on this because they do not get time to grieve. Okay, their body go into shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when their body going broke, it can bring a whole lot of illnesses to you. Did you know that?
Exactly.
Yeah. So people don't get time to grieve. Like they because they have to keep the body for a period of time, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. They kind of like go to the mortuary, go to this the funeral arrangements here and there, go doing this, doing that. So they do not even have time to grieve. When we get time, maybe one day we can talk about it as well. Um, they didn't get the time to grieve. Okay, this is what I want to emphasize on, because they do not get time to grieve. If you're not careful, if that person is not careful, it's gonna give a shock to the system.
Sure.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Um, I think whilst you are waiting for the funeral and everything, you should have time to grieve. Let the shock of your body, I mean, let your body come to acceptance. You don't, because a lot of people do that.
Mm.
And then later on in life, most of the times people are like, oh, after the funeral, right? After the Sunday that, the climax of everything, the next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they down. They are
Yes.
not even able to move, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. With that, there are some people that are able to move. Those are the
Exactly.
people that I want to speak to. You have to be very, very careful. Okay? Let your
Yes.
body, let your body cry. Your emotional well-being is everything to me. That's what I always say. Your
Sure.
well-being, everything to me. So you need to cry. You
Yes.
need to you need to sit down and let your body work through it. Because if you're not careful, it can damage your some of your organs.
Yes.
Okay. And mind you, we're not just going to deal with one death in our lives. We're gonna deal with multiple of them. And if you're not careful, it can damage you. It can damage
Yeah.
some of the organs one way or the other. So I want to emphasize, I want to tell my people that when it's time for you to grieve, please do it. Do it. Sit down. There are other people that can also take care of other things. Sit down and let your mind go through some stuff. Go through the depression. Okay? But do not let the
Yeah.
depression overtake you.
Sure.
It becomes an illness when it overtakes you. If you think that you're not coping well, talk to someone about it. There are so many people around. You don't have to speak to a psychologist. You don't have to speak to a therapist. You don't have to speak to a psychiatrist. You don't have to you can speak to anybody about it. Yeah. And let them help you cope with it so that you can have, you can move on in life. Not move on, but you can cope with it properly so that you don't damage your system at some point in life. Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Because this topic is very one emotional. Two, if you neglect at the initial stage, you will still revisit it. So it's
Yeah.
very good that we understand it. Once you have had a sad moment, you need to be able to pass through the process. And also, the emphasis is on the caretakers or the relatives behind or with such individual. Don't prevent them from crying. Don't prevent them. You need to understand the process. Just guide them, coach them so that nothing hurtful will occur. And by God's grace, individual will be able to cope because we are dealing with coping mechanism, and we will be able to cope and with it after even the major incident has occurred. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
taking your time to take us through. Your take home message for us. We are ready for it.
Okay. So some people say obemansu.
Exactly.
Obema, as I saw Obema soon.
Exactly.
If you say this is in my house, my son is gonna be very angry with you. Okay, because I
Yeah.
have trained him in a way that he has emotional feelings. He's not like he's not God. God even has
Mhm.
emotional feelings. So when yes, so when Obama soon, as I saw Obama soon,
Mhm.
okay,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, and sometimes we say, oh, onipa korona ache on sunda.
Mhm.
Why? Yeah, everybody has a way of processing it.
Exactly.
Everybody has a way of processing it. So if it takes someone a year, probably the initial stage, that person didn't even
Yeah.
grieve.
Yeah.
Okay. So every individual is different.
Yeah.
Okay. So give people
Yeah.
time. And also, do not impose upon people. Don't impose upon them. Why are you still crying? That person is gone. No, don't say that to people. Okay? Leave
Yes.
the person. People go through a lot and they have their own way of dealing with things. Leave the
Exactly.
person. And instead of you speaking abruptly to someone, encourage the person. Speak to them in the nicest way that would even allow the person to speak to you more. Okay? Do not
Yeah.
just talk anyhow to people. And don't say Onyanko Pombeye. Hey, yes. These things. And no cry I'm not, don't get me wrong. But when someone is grieving, yeah, there are some things that you don't even have to say to them that it's gonna be you are gonna be okay. No, not at that time. Anyway, we're gonna talk about that later. Not
Yeah.
at
Okay.
that time. And one thing that people write is it is well. Hey, why? What is it is well? Why don't you find out? Okay? Why don't you find out what is worrying the person and speak to them, help them go through it? Don't just write it is well. No, it is not well with that person at that time. Okay? So these are some of the things that we need to be very careful with when someone is grieving. Yeah? Onyankopon bɛyɛ. We know that God will do it, yes. But at that time, does the person need that? No. Because Okatem so Onyankopon bɛyɛ at that time. I am wild. My brain is everywhere. I am all over the place. So why do you tell me that? Come to me and speak to me and let me explain to you why I am sad or what what I'm going through at
Yeah.
that time. And then you talk to me on that. But don't just
Exactly.
sit somewhere and tell me it is well. It is not well with me at that time. So there are some of the things that we say. If we get time another time, we're gonna speak about it. There are some of the things that we say that to me, I don't think helps people grieving.
Okay.
We need to have time for them. Yeah,
Sure.
even if you have to cook for them, cook for them. Let them, if they say no, that's a no. Don't push them to the wall. Okay, let them grieve.
Yeah.
Let them do their own thing. They would come to realization. They will come to acceptance at some point in life. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, our take home message is that when someone is passing through the process, allow that individual to pass through. Be mindful, note the problem. If you need to assist, at times you even need to leave your house and sit with that individual throughout the day. Be there.
Mm.
Then, when the person reach the realization or the acceptance stage, after you listening to that individual, now you can give the hope message whilst the person is coping with it, but not the verge that the person is in it. You are just going to stop crying. You are just leaving to your house. you are not assisting that individual. She alone is going to sleep in the room. She has lost her husband or wife. Then you are saying, give it to God at that verge. What is your role? Play
Exactly.
a role and now give the hope message so that when the person is there, you also be recalling, okay, when I was passing through the series of sadness, this sister was with me, asking me questions, doing this. Afterwards, what did she say? She said, oh, there is hope and this. And now she will understand your hopeful message and add to his or her coping mechanism, but not at the verge. When the person reached the acceptance stage, you say, when I was crying, this person came and he's saying, give it to God, give it to God. We thank you, Sister Cecilia, very much for this in-depth knowledge. And we know at your busy schedule, we still find way to enter into the door again. So our birthday girl too, we are saying that happy birthday to you. And we know we've taken 1 hour of your mom's time, but don't worry, she will come and cook for you. She will come and cook for you. So until then, same time, Richmond Media Health Issues, we are saying that God bless you, Sister Cecilia Akaadom, for your
Bless.
message. Our viewers and our listeners, God bless you all for your time throughout this section. Until then, same time, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say God bless you too. God bless.
Amen.
You want to take
Amen.
me with the fact that since you know you are more religious, yeah? Take me
Yes,
through Obiwa after death, after life, afterlife, maybe. So you know
yes,
that more.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
In
yeah,
the Bible. Because I want evidence. I don't like just talk.
yes.
They
So
have
I'll just take you through. I'll
you
just
have
take you through.
you have to do your research and then take
I'll
me
just
through
take,
it. Don't
don't worry.
tell me, otherwise I won't believe it.
You believe it. Don't worry. We will go through and you will believe it. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So,
oh,
God
thank you
bless
very much.
you. God bless you. Yeah, welcome. So until then, viewers and listeners, same time next week on Richmond Media Health Issues, we will bring health issues to your doorstep. Bye bye for now.